The swamp water is warm as bath water, brown with rot. Something long shifts beneath the surface. Logs don't move against the current, though. Its body is as thick through the middle as a man is at the waist, and it keeps moving. 40 feet pass before the tail pulls free of the reeds, and the head had gone into the green long before the rest could follow. The place is what is now northern Colombia, around 60 million years ago. The animal is the largest snake that ever lived. Its name is Titanoboa, and it was an apex predator. A green anaconda, the heaviest serpent alive today, might reach a couple hundred pounds in a record animal. Titanoboa came in at more than a ton. Take the bulk of a small rhinoceros and put it into something that moves like water and vanishes under it. Stretched out, the snake measured around 42 feet, with later finds pushing the biggest individuals toward 47. We know the size from its backbone. Snake vertebrae scale proportionately with body length in living species. So a single fossil segment, measured with that relationship, gives us the whole animal. One of Titanoboa's vertebrae is broader than a grown man's hand. Lay it beside the matching bone from a 17-foot anaconda, and the living snake looks like it came off a different kind of creature. Nobody went looking for this monster. A team from the University of Florida and the Smithsonian was working a sprawling coal mine at Cerrejón. They were in the dry scrub of La Guajira, lifting Paleocene fossils out of the seams. The first Titanoboa bones came up tagged as crocodile and sat in drawers under that label for years. In 2009, Jason Head and his colleagues finally read the vertebrae for what they were. By then, the mine had already surrendered 186 fossils from around 30 separate giants. Enormous wasn't the exception at Cerrejón, it was the average. A snake that heavy pays for its weight on land. Gravity pulls at every pound, and a barrel-bodied animal can't haul itself far before it tires. So water carries the weight instead, and Cerrejón was threaded with rivers and standing swamp. Titanoboa almost certainly lived the way an anaconda does, suspended in the shallows, lying still with only the eyes and nostrils breaking the surface. The strike came from below, quick for an animal that size, and then the coils took over. For a long time, the story was that constrictors suffocate, squeezing the breath out slowly. Recent work on living boas overturned that. Sensors on the prey showed the real cause of death is lack of blood flow. The coils generate enough pressure to stall the blood, arterial pressure crashing while the heart fails against the squeeze. A rat in a boa's grip can lose consciousness in seconds. Whatever Titanoboa closed around went down the same way, only faster, under a force nothing in that swamp could resist. What it actually ate is still being argued about. The easy first answer was the crocodile relatives sharing its water. Short-snouted dinosaurs and anaconda-style hunter could take down the same way anacondas swallow caimans now. Then, the skulls turned up in a 2011 return to the mine that pulled 3 of them from the rock. That almost never happens with snakes, and the teeth and palate hinted at something simpler: a heavy diet of fish. The analysis is that a predator over 40 feet long had a wide menu, and what it hunted shifted as it grew from a hatchling into the biggest thing in the river. Size like that wasn't reached in a hurry. Growth models drawn from living boas suggest that even a newborn Titanoboa would have outmeasured most adult snakes alive today. And climbing to full length most likely took the better part of its lifetime. Decades of eating and growing in the same warm water it was born into. The world that it grew in had only recently stopped burning. 6 million years before this swamp existed, the asteroid had ended the dinosaurs and stripped the planet down. What came back at the equator is the oldest rainforest we have any record of. The deep ancestor of the Amazon, already dense and humming with reptiles that had inherited a new world. With the great predators of the old world gone, cold-blooded animals had room to test the limits on size. And in this hot, wet basin, a snake found that limit. There may be a reason the snake reached the size it did, and it points at heat. The team that named Titanoboa suggested that a cold-blooded animal this large could only function if the equator was hotter than it is today, with a yearly average somewhere near 30 to 34 degrees Celsius. But other researchers pushed back on their suggestion. They pointed out that an animal carrying that much mass can bank and release heat on its own, which makes it a shaky thermometer for an ancient climate. That argument still hasn't been resolved. Hot or merely warm, the snake didn't preside over an empty marsh. A turtle called Carbonemys hauled a shell nearly 6 feet long through the same water. Lungfish the length of a person moved in the channels, hunted by several kinds of those crocodile relatives. Over all of it lay the snake, with nothing in the swamp large enough to trouble a healthy adult. Its reign didn't end because of a disaster. The equatorial hothouse that may have fed Titanoboa's bulk was a passing setting of deep time. As Earth's long temperature curve bent and drifted across the epochs that followed, the furnace needed to grow a cold-blooded animal to a ton cooled away. No snake since has come near that weight. Well, almost none. In 2024, vertebrae out of a lignite mine in western India introduced Vasuki, a serpent from about 47 million years ago that the estimates place anywhere from 36 to 50 feet long. At the top of that range, it would edge past Titanoboa. The crown that stood alone for 15 years is shared now, maybe already passed along. Though Vasuki, like Titanoboa, is being rebuilt from a scatter of bones. Back in the swamp, the water closes over and goes flat after the giant has gone by. Run the clock forward 60 million years, and the same kind of water still moves through the same corner of the world. The rivers of the Amazon lying across the ground where Cerrejón once stood. A snake still hunts there, holding itself in the warm shallows, waiting with its eyes above the surface. The Green Anaconda is the heaviest serpent left on Earth, and it is barely a tenth of what once moved through that water.